Kim here. Thanks for joining me. I'm making my card for the Just a Scrappin Design Team Weekly Challenge. This is watercolor paper that I bought at Walmart, and it's very thin and has absolutely no texture to it. I love it. My card base is going to be this pink Recollections cardstock. Now I'm using stencils, and I'll list the stencil name here for you because I showed that really quickly. I'm going to put that down first using my T-square ruler. I wanted to try to make it as straight as possible. I like these stencils because they are sticky. And if you have stencils that you want to use that don't have the stickiness behind it, you can use a Post-it note, washi tape, painter's tape, anything like that to hold it down. But you will need to have something to hold your stencil down. Then I'm going to put that big stencil on the top of that. Now I was trying to get it to go as close to that row of hearts as possible, just because I didn't want a big gap. I was going to actually put this entire piece of watercolor paper on the card, and that's why I was being so fussy about this, but I changed my mind and did something different. Sometimes I do that. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, a little hesitation. Okay, so stencil is down. Now I'm using my new Sharpie pen set. I got this at Walmart probably, but they're neon colors. And I'm using my new e-brush. I love this thing. Oh my gosh. First time I've ever had an airbrush device of any kind. Now, if you want to see a great tutorial, there's lots of them out there, but I always find Ken on Ken's Creations tutorials and videos to be the most informative. I'm sure there's other out there, but these are, his is the one that I found it to be very helpful. Now I'm just using my Sharpie pen, pushing on the air to make it come out. And that's, like I said, it's a real pretty pink neon color. I'm switching over to my yellow one. And just what I do each time is I kind of just spray it on that little scrap. And I'm overlapping a little bit. That's how I wanted it to look. And in a minute here I'll be using some really pretty green as well. I'm going back with my pink one because I did forget to put some pink hearts on there. You could use molding paste on a stencil and, airbrush on the molding paste. That would be really pretty. The texture of that would be great. And I like the way this was turning out because it was speckly. Not really sure you can tell on this video, but it had some speckles to it. And it's that easy, that quick. Sharpie pens dry right away. You don't have to worry about setting them aside and letting them dry at all. Look at how cute that is. Now you could put glossy accents, diamond or crystal stickles, Wink of Stella on that if you wanted to give it even more color, more dimension. I'm going to fussy cut that out. Originally I was going to put the whole card down on that pink cardstock, but decided to go ahead and cut around that heart. Now I also thought about getting my heart-shaped Spellbinders dies, but I really wanted it to be the entire heart, and the one Spellbinders die heart that I have is not big enough for that size, so I went ahead and decided to just do it this way. And all done with that. Now I'm going to use my paper trimmer to do the row of hearts. I still need, after all these years of cutting, I still need practice on cutting things straight with my scissors. I've just been so reliant on my paper trimmer. And I'm just kind of, finding that bottom row, or the bottom portion of the hearts, and moving it up just a tiny bit. And here I just took the plunge and said, no way is that going to fit in my paper trimmer. It's going to move around and mess it up, so I did it by myself. Yay me. Now, the heart didn't seem like it had enough to it. So in a minute here, I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to grab a green piece of paper. And I ended up really liking how that worked out. So here we go. That's Recollections cardstock, same as the base of the pink base of the card. And I'm going to fussy cut around that. And I left, about a little less than an eighth of an inch around just so you could see it, but that it wasn't too dominant of the green taking over the pink, because I wanted the pink to be, that dominant color in this card. That little flap was bugging me. I had to get it out of the way. So I'm almost done cutting this green part around. And you'll see here in a minute that it did make a difference with the card. Before it seemed a little too simple, a little too plain. And sometimes that's okay, but for this one, I needed it to have a little bit more color. All right, so I'm, what am I doing here? I'm grabbing, oh, that's right. I decided to use my corner rounder because the shape of the heart was very round, and I forget to do this on my cards, and I love how this looks. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that heart down. And I am a little bit off camera here. I apologize for that. I realize what I need to do when I'm doing my videos is I need to have some sort of a marker that helps me keep lined up so that my project is always in the frame of the camera. I get into the zone of card making or scrapbooking, and I lose track of where I'm at on the crafting board or whatever it is that I'm using. Crafting table, crafting board. Don't know where that came from. All right, so I want to leave a little bit of space on the bottom because I'm going to be stamping a Happy Mother's Day sentiment. This is from my craft spot. And I loved this particular stamp because it had some like handwriting type writing on the stamp in addition to like regular type print. And I'm going to put that right down at the bottom. Now I did add a little bit more. I was contemplating on whether I wanted to put it across my heart, but I said nah. Back to my thought. I did add some faux stitching after I shut the camera off, and I was looking at the card thinking it's just still too simple. So I took a picture of it, and it'll be at the end of this video. You'll see the faux stitching, and the faux stitching really added something nice to it. I'm lining my stamp up there to make sure that I'm putting it on straight. That's black Memento ink. And then this is the Spectrum Noir pens. That's the sample. I kind of played around a little bit before I did this video. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the picture of the card.